Good morning. This is Luke Revan, manager here at East Brandywine Township. I'm addressing you in my capacity as the online moderator for this work session of the Board of Supervisors. Due to the coronavirus pandemic and to protect the safety of township officials and our residents, the board is conducting this meeting by webinar. This meeting is being recorded and will be rebroadcast on the township's YouTube channel. Public notice of this meeting was posted on the township's website, consistent with Act 15 of 2020. The agenda for the meeting was also posted on the website at ebrandywine.org/agenda center and is visible on your screen. Members of the public can hear us, but your own phones and computer microphones are muted, so we cannot hear you. To enable an organized meeting, we're using the following procedure. As with in-person meetings, I ask that all participants wait to be recognized by the chairman before speaking, and that all comments be directed to the chairman. To be recognized, you must first ask me, in my capacity as the moderator of this webinar, to unmute your audio connection. You may request this at any time via the chat feature, which is located on the left side of your screen. Each person recognized by the chairman should state their name and their address before asking a question. I'll now turn the meeting over to Chairman Winters.
Good morning. Welcome to the East Brandywine Township Board of Supervisors work session, Thursday, March 4th, 2021. Do we have any public comment on agenda items?
I see none, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Let's move on then to the minutes of the previous meetings. We have the Board of Supervisors for February 4th, 2021, as well as February 18th, 2021, and the Planning Commission's February 3rd, 2021 minutes.
Questions or any issues? No? I'll make a motion to adopt the Board of Supervisor meeting minutes from February 4th and February 18th of 2021 and the minutes of February 3rd, 2021.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain from the February 18th meeting. I wasn't able to attend.
Okay. Thank you. Now let's move on to the manager's report.
There is no manager's report in your packet this morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay. That's a standard issue. I did not have an insert in your agenda.
Understood. Let's move on to old business amendment of January 21, 2020. That'd be some change.
Yeah. I have heard from individuals of the fire company who have brought my attention to a transcription error that exists in the motion that was made to support the capital improvement, the improvement of the fire station. On examination of the video that's posted on YouTube, staff is recommending the change of just 3 words that exist in the minutes of January 21, 2021 that was approved at your last meeting. And that is specifically the motion made by Vice Chairman Sherbach to support the fire company. His words did not include 4 or 5 years, which is the 3 words at the end of that motion. So I would be making a recommendation the board alter a previously approved set of minutes to reflect that change.
I'm okay with that.
I'll make a motion to include the 3 words for 4 or 5 years as an amendment to the January 21st, 2021 minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to the tax collector compensation for term beginning January 2022. Jonas is available.
Well, I could.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do see that Mr. Jonas has joined us and is able to speak.
Good morning. I just got on. I apologize. I was a few minutes late. We originally were asked about tax collector compensation for immediate effectiveness, and we had determined that there was a deadline of February 15th, which had passed, so it was not possible, and we did not find any statutory exemption that would allow for immediately increasing compensation. If the intention is to increase the compensation effective January 2022, we can certainly look into that, confirm that, and prepare documents to implement that.
Can somebody repeat that? It was coming across a little jagged. I'm not sure what you said. Can you say that again, Mark? I'm sorry.
Sure. Good morning, George. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It just seemed a little jagged,
Okay.
little...
The issue that had been raised to us was increasing tax collector compensation effective immediately. The agenda refers to January 2022, but the deadline had been passed for increasing compensation, which I think was the deadline of February 15th. So if the question is that it's still the desire of the Board of Supervisors to consider increasing tax collector compensation as of next year, that's something we can look into and confirm.
Oh, so it's not locked in for the tax collector's next 4-year term by missing this deadline?
All we had looked at, George, was that we could not immediately increase the compensation.
Right, so it can be increased for the next 4-year term next January?
We will confirm that.
Okay. Okay.
All right, thank you. And let's move on to new business, the escrow release for Mapleview.
Mr. Chairman, it's a chief.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm getting text messages from Ken Adder. He's trying to notify Luke. He wants to go back to the motion that was made regarding the fire company.
100,000 a year.
Can you clarify what the motion was and what George approved? Because I think Luke originally said that the 3 words were to be removed from the minutes, but I think George said he approved to add them.
Correct. I did see Ken's message across the screen. So thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
George, you want to redo that motion to amend the January 21, or Kyle for George to exclude just 100,000 per year. No, not for 4 years or 5 years, just 100,000 per year.
Okay, with no limit in terms of the year.
Yeah, just to say 100,000 per year.
Okay.
Just so just the approval of the amendment of the minutes, really.
Okay.
Do I have a motion for that? At the amendment of the January 21st, 2021 minutes, I'll make a motion to amend them per Ken Adder's suggestion to remove the yearly and do 100,000 per year. Is that correct, Luke?
So my recommendation, based on my review of the video, was to amend the minutes of January 21 to remove the last 3 words of Vice Chairman Scherbach's motion, which was included the words 4 or 5 years. So basically, my motion was to strike those 3 words from the approved minutes.
Okay. So moved. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Ken, for catching that. All right, let's move on to new business, the escrow release for Mapleview.
All right, so we are in receipt of a request for financial security escrow release for the construction of public improvements in the Mapleview development, Phase 2, Release 1. Included in your packet is a letter from Township Engineer Nate Klein recommending that the request be approved. So I would submit. I would first say that I don't recall historically that escrow releases have been agenda items on board meetings, and it's my recommendation that we start doing that. And if it's the board's desire to, and they concur with Nate's determination, I think that the motion should be authorizing staff to execute the materials included in Nate Klein's escrow release.
I think that's a great idea. And I think it'll help from getting confused and just keep track of everything. It's a public interest, and I think it's a great idea. Do I have a motion then?
Yep, make a motion. Make a motion to authorize staff to execute the escrow release for Mapleview as outlined in Nate Klein's February 25th, 2021 letter.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, moving on to proposal for comprehensive plan update and the official map project. I believe Mr. Tom Committa is here today.
Right. Well, I'm having a little trouble unmuting Mr. Committa. I suspect he's joining on a tablet, and I'm unable to promote him to a speaker. I'd like to, there is a member of TCA who can speak, and that is Jennifer Reitz.
Good morning. How you doing, Ms. Reese?
Good morning. It's Jennifer Reitz. I'm happy to be here with you this morning to answer any. Sure. So TCA presented or submitted our proposal for the comprehensive plan last week, which I believe a copy is in everyone's packets. Is that correct?
Yeah, thank you.
Good. So we are proposing to work with the Brandywine Conservancy to update your comprehensive plan, looking basically at having a draft completed by this time next year, so March of 2022. We would have a draft comprehensive plan ready to go through the adoption process. We are proposing a fairly robust public engagement process, starting with a survey and then leading to a public workshop, probably outdoors and socially distanced and safe, whatever everyone is comfortable with, next September. Building a comprehensive plan around everything that you included in your Chester County Vision Partnership Program grant, as well as the wonderful work that has been done between you all and the Brandywine Conservancy regarding the sustainable community assessment. And so those become kind of the founding framework for the comprehensive plan. I really, without being able to present any, the specifics, I'd be happy to answer any questions, or if there's specific areas that you would like me to go into in more depth, I'm happy to do that with you this morning.
Pardon the interruption, I would like to, just by way of further introduction, indicate that the Township's Ordinance Task Force issued a request for qualifications for firms to do the comprehensive plan update and official map project. And on review of those qualifications, the Ordinance Task Force is recommending that we engage TCA and the Brandywine Conservancy. So that's why you're hearing from them this morning.
So they did receive proposals from the other four firms?
I can't confirm that it was 4 total. I believe it was 2 or 3 total.
In the Planning Commission meetings, I thought I read that there were 5 firms that were being asked to propose.
Okay, my recollection is 3.
Okay. Okay, and this is the successful bidder.
This is a partially grant-funded project. We have a Chester County Vision Partnership Program grant, and this is a proposal for professional services, so it is exempt from bidding requirements. TCA and Brandywine Conservancy were chosen on the strength of their response to the request for qualifications.
Okay.
Who has been, I guess a question, Luke, who has been doing the plan updates in the past? Is it the same firm that's been doing it in the past?
No, so the last official map update was in 2011, and the last official comp plan update was in 2009. The I don't believe these two entities had anything to do with either of those plans.
Okay.
I can confirm that we did not, Luke.
I can speak to this if you would like. This is Jim Buxala.
Go ahead, Jim.
Jim, in his capacity as a member of the Ordnance Task Force, yes.
Okay.
Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. We requested a statement of qualifications from Tom Committed Associates, from the Brandywine Conservancy, and from Panoni. And we had considered Arrow as well, and I don't recall exactly why we didn't end up getting a statement of qualifications from them. But of those three that we requested a statement of qualifications, two of them decided to team for the comp plan work, and that is Tom Committed Associates and Brandywine Conservancy. And I see that as a strong pairing. We've dealt with Tom Committed in the past in the development of the Guthriesville master plan. He's a terrific planner, and we dealt with the Brandywine Conservancy several times in the past, most recently with regard to the sustainability study that they did for us that, as she mentioned, is going to be one of the guiding structures for development of the comp plan update. So, and one of the things we considered in looking at the statement of qualifications is the presentation of the information in the comp plan itself. It's going to be organized in such a way that is visually appealing and breaks things up and provides for easy digestion of the information in the comp plan. And that was a strong consideration as well. So the task force is all on board in supporting bringing TCA and the Brandywine Conservancy on to provide the support for the comp plan update.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Kyle, George, do you have any questions on their proposal, or do you have any issues with their budget? 70,000.
No.
So Jim, the cost is basically, is that a firm cost, 70,000 plus miscellaneous expenses?
No, that's not to exceed. It basically matches the grant we got from the county, the 70,000.
Oh, okay. Okay with it.
I'm fine. Yeah.
Motion?
Yep. I'll make a motion that we accept the proposal for planning services for the comprehensive plan update and official map project of East Brandywine that is submitted by TCA.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on. Litigation update, Carlino East Brandywine. There's been numerous questions from the public over the last several meetings about the status update. So we had met in executive session February 25th, 11 a.m. morning to discuss litigation matters, to provide an update to the public, and to also speak about the litigation itself. And right now, the current update is the land use appeals filed by Brandywine Village Associates and LR Partnership is currently before the Commonwealth Court. Briefs have been filed and oral arguments are scheduled for this month. The parties are engaged in the discovery process in connection with the declaratory judgment actions that have been filed under the eminent domain code, the public bidding law, and prevailing wage law in the Chester County Court of Common Pleas. The various other matters remain on hold pending the outcome of the land use appeal, while others are proceeding between Brandywine Village Associates and Carlene East Brandywine without the township's involvement as a party at this time. We do have a effective resolution to discuss and consider. Luke, if you want to go ahead and read that for us.
Yeah, I'm reading from a copy of Draft Resolution 3 of 2021. It is approximately a page in length, so bear with me. Resolution 3 of 2021, a resolution of the Board of Supervisors of the Township of East Brandywine, Chester County, for the return of excess condemned land. Whereas the Township of East Brandywine, Chester County is a second-class township duly organized and operating in accordance with the laws of Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, hereafter known as the Township, and whereas on November 17th, 2014, the Township filed a declaration of taking supporting documents to effectuate the condemnation of certain portions of land for a connector road between North Guthriesville Road and Horseshoe Pike, whereas the Township properly condemned such portions of land under the eminent domain code, and whereas the final design of the connector road resulted in portions of the condemned land being unnecessary for the proposed connector road, hereafter known as the excess land, whereas the excess land therefore does not serve the purpose for which it was condemned, whereas the township desires to offer return of excess land to the appropriate condemnee pursuant to the provisions of Section 310 of the eminent domain code. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of the Township of East Brandywine, Chester County, Pennsylvania, as follows. The Township Special Counsel is authorized to prepare and effectuate the notice of offer and other documents required by Section 310 and Section 305B of the eminent domain code. The Township Engineer is authorized to prepare all necessary legal descriptions, plot plans, and other technical documents required under Section 305B and Section 310 of the eminent domain code. Staff of the Township is authorized to complete any further actions required to effectuate the transfer of excess land as appropriate under the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Adopted as a resolution by the Board of Supervisors of the Township of East Brandywine, this day, 4th day of March, 2021.
Thank you, Luke. So resolution number 3 of 2021, so moved. Do I have a second?
Excuse me, can we have questions on this? I don't believe you opened this up to the board to discuss.
I'm going to actually open it up once I get a second.
All right, well, there's no need to make a motion until the board discusses it.
It hasn't been voted on. I'm making a motion to bring it to the table for discussion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Now we can open up for public comment and discussion.
So I guess my first question would be, I'm reading the agenda items right here, ordinance and resolutions for consideration, clearly states Roman numeral 8, none. How are you giving parties a fair trial by putting something like this in the agenda at the last minute and putting on the ordinance resolution for considerations none?
Well, Kyle, it's as new business, so this is a new topic of discussion. So this is what was discussed at the.
Is it new business or is it a resolution for consideration? Because it wasn't under new business either.
Litigation update, Carlene East Brandywine. New business.
But this is an update.
Kyle, can you have your comments?
That is my comment. I need to know what this is.
Well, this is what you just heard. It's a resolution number 3 of 2021 to return the excess land not utilized for the public road.
And your agenda clearly states no resolutions for consideration. So how do you have a resolution on an agenda that's not printed? It's a very simple question, Chairman.
Well, I don't know, Kyle.
I'm sure you don't, but that's what I'm asking.
Well, I'm not sure. Under new business, I'm pretty certain that this is the time for the public to comment, and discuss this.
It's not on the agenda.
It's East Brandywine. Carlino East Brandywine is on the agenda. So I'm not going to keep asking and answering the same question. So do you have any other
Is
questions?
our solicitor on the phone with us?
I am on the phone. I'm on the meeting.
All right, and you heard my comments. What are your take on this?
My comments is that there's a motion and a second. The resolution's been read. Um, There's an opportunity for you to provide comment, and the chairman has offered public comment. So I think the discussion should proceed on the motion.
So you're okay with something getting put on an agenda the last minute, and under ordinance and resolutions for consideration, it states none, but this is a resolution for consideration. You're okay with that?
I'm not okay with the way you phrase it. I'm saying it is proper to proceed on a motion that's presented for a resolution that has been read and that is available for comment by both the board and the public. So
Right.
I think
And
the chairman should proceed.
And that's your legal opinion?
We didn't ask for him for a legal opinion. We asked.
I'm asking for a legal opinion right now.
Mr. Scribner, I provided you with my response.
Yeah, but I'm looking for a legal opinion.
Yeah, well,
It's noted,
and we can go back and forth. We can go back and forth repetitively, which is something you like to do, and I provided my response.
Oh, I like to. I'm a caretaker of the steward of the township's spending habits, and I'd like to make sure that the township is doing things legally and fair for everybody, not just the board of supervisors, but all the residents.
Mr. Chairman, I think you should proceed.
Thank you. Any other comments? Luke?
I have one other comment. When was this just discussed during, so I've only missed one executive session, which I chose not to participate in because I wasn't being included in some of the correspondence regarding this issue. No, I don't want to say some, all of the correspondence pertaining to this issue. So was this was decided then, I guess, in an executive session, I'm assuming, but between the two of you?
Kyle, you were invited to the executive session held on February 25th, and at the advice of whomever was advised you not to attend. We had a meeting to speak every case that we're on and to see where we're at with things, and it was discussed about some of the lawsuits, and this is what we discussed. You missed it. We wanted you to be there. Majority of the board was there, and
that wasn't my question. My question was it that the only time that this was discussed?
Yes. It was. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Nay.
Thank you. Moving on. Board of Supervisors held an executive session on February 25th, 2021 at 11 a.m. to discuss litigation matters. And the East Brandywine Foundation meeting will be held at the conclusion of this meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I have public comment for non-agenda items.
I'm sorry. Public comment on non-agenda items. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Okay, so I guess my first thing is I would like a discussion to go on the three supervisors to vote in the path of a vendor taking legal proceedings going forward, meaning one supervisor alone cannot authorize a vendor to make any action on behalf of the township. Would you guys both be in agreement to that? It's very simple. Two supervisors out of the three give the authority to any solicitor or vendor creating an action on behalf of the township.
Kyle, this has to do with something that, spare the moment, if you can get it down in writing so we can review it.
You just threw a resolution at me at a township meeting. You're saying I'm throwing something to you at spur of the moment. Really? That's your answer. So I'll ask you again. I would say that the motion would be for the three supervisors to vote on the path the vendor is taking, and vendor would be a solicitor or a vendor on legal proceedings. Example, one supervisor cannot authorize a vendor to take any action on behalf of himself for the township.
Yeah, you don't have a second. So if you'd like to discuss further.
I didn't make I'll make the official motion. I would like to make a motion that going forward, two of at least three of the supervisors vote on the path a vendor is taking on legal proceedings. Example, one supervisor alone cannot authorize a vendor to take any action. This is everything, not any particular case.
What's the definition of vendor?
Vendor would be anybody that works for the township, a solicitor, a traffic impact, a traffic consultant, anybody doing any work on behalf of the township. 2 supervisors would authorize, not 1.
On every little thing that a vendor does or that a solicitor does?
Kyle,
What
we
are you
let our
talking
manager,
about?
we let our manager do that too, so.
Excuse me, can you let Supervisor Sherbeck finish his statement? I couldn't hear you. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, you've got vendors doing every little thing. You're talking about every little thing that a vendor does or a solicitor does. We have a manager involved that's dealing with the vendors and the solicitor.
So what I'm saying, anything that comes down to legal action. So basically where I'm saying is I can't authorize a vendor to file something or do an action on behalf of just my opinion. It would come through the 2 board members at least of the 3. I don't understand why that's a difficult request. It should be like that anyway.
All right.
All right, so that was my first one. So I'll go on to my second one. So obviously there's a no on that. That's interesting. I would also like to make a motion that going forward, all supervisors, all 3 supervisors are included on all correspondence and directed to vendors instead of using just 1 email exchange. As examples, right now we currently use for most of our communications individual email addresses. We also have the use of an email labeled supervisors. So all 3 would be included on all correspondences. I don't think that's certainly something that should be a problem. I'll happily hear your guys' side on that.
We actually discussed this before, and I believe the majority of the board didn't want to be bothered with little emails that didn't mean anything to load up the box. So, I mean, you know, like I said.
George, what's your opinion on that?
On getting emails from every vendor and every solicitor?
No, that any email going to 1 supervisor goes to all 3 supervisors via the heading supervisors instead of individual capacity. Meaning if Luke were to send an email to just you, the rest of the board would be copied on it. And we would all be under supervisors, not individual capacity. So we're a board of 3 the way it should be.
I've been a board of 3.
Yeah, I don't need to be involved in every single email. All the important emails that I expect from Luke or from a solicitor or for a vendor, that's what I'd like to see. I don't have to be copied on every single email if it's something minor and it's not decision provoking, etc.
So you would be okay.
I don't
Would
need
you-
to be.
Would you be okay then with the directions coming from all solicitors and any pending lawsuits that it gets directed to all supervisors?
We give
Excuse me,
direction.
could you let Mr. Sherbeck finish his thoughts?
Solicitors then filed in.
Okay, I didn't ask you, Jason. Thank you. George?
Well, I think in the past, the solicitor was only dealing with the chairman. When you were chairman, it appears to me that Kristen Camp was just sending you the information and you determined whether the other board members should receive it. So
That's absolutely incorrect. That's incorrect. I don't know where you got that.
100% correct.
That's what the procedure was in the past, because Chairman Winters was not included on every email from the solicitor in previous years. In fact, Chairman Winters was not included on emails where the board went around his back and tried to buy his property. So how can you tell me that all the emails went to every single member in the past? They didn't.
So what I'll tell you is this, George. Anytime an email didn't go on anybody's secondary correspondence was only because it was a conflict of interest. That was the only time it ever did. And it wouldn't be necessarily, it was a township conflict of interest or individual conflict of interest. Everything regarding legal matters went through all supervisors. So I'm not sure where you're getting your information.
I'll give you an example, Kyle. I'll give you 2 examples. When there was a vacancy in the board, and it was just only yourself and myself, you directed Kristen to file the preliminary objections in the declaratory judgment actions. I said, they lacked the authority to do that. Buckley Bryant's firm lacked the authority to do that because they did not have a majority of the board's vote on this or approval. And what happened? I was told, we're filing it anyway. Sorry, Mr. Winters. What about the affidavit that myself as a supervisor felt obligated to file separately to the court when both yourself and Jay Fisher approved the conditions of approval for the preliminary final plans of this very project that all of a sudden added, I don't know, a 96-page document that was never presented to the public, never presented for discussion, was never even presented to the board. But you and Jay voted to strike my affidavit not in a public setting. And so I'm sorry, but I don't really, I can listen to your concerns, but that's what I'm doing right now. I'm listening to them. So I don't think that you can sit here and say that it hasn't happened past. It has never happened in this instance here. You've been copied on everything. You've chosen not to show up to executive sessions. How is that representing the interest of the township as elected official by not showing up to a meeting? You could show up and voice your opinion, whether it's you agree with us or you don't agree with us. That's the proper way, in my opinion, and I did encourage you to show up. So again,
yeah, to answer that, the reason why I did not show up to that executive session is because the correspondence leading up to that for the entirety of the new board, I was not included on anything regarding that legal matter. So it was a good position for myself not to attend because it keeps me out of the I'll call it nonsense that's been worked on behind the scenes. So obviously there's no motion, I guess, that which I don't understand, no motion for 3 supervisors to be included on all correspondence from vendors. So that's concerning to me. The next thing I wanted to talk about was we recently got an exuberant bill from one of our solicitors from October. And I'm wondering what the board's position on this is, where we're getting invoices 4, 5, 6 months later. What are your guys' thoughts on that since you guys hired him?
well, actually, Kyle, is they gave their invoice to us late because when they first were hired as special counsel, they had to do the file transfers. And obviously, as everyone knows, we are in the 11th year of litigation on this matter. And there's, I believe, 9 or 10 different actions right now. They were on a time limit. They had to come in. They had issues with Ms. Fuller's firm of returning the files that were never returned to Kristen Camp, to Buckley Bryant, back in 2018. So it took some time. So they were busy trying to protect the interests of the township, not missing deadlines. And then they went ahead and then billed us. And that bill wasn't exorbitant, actually, if you consider that.
Really?
Over to January. No, it's not when you compare it to Kristen Camp.
Wow. You must have deep pockets. Well, it concerns me that someone's sending a bill from October. How is, again, here we are, the stewards of the township's money. How are we to keep track of billable hours when it was from 5 or 6 months ago? You tell me that, Supervisor Winters.
I'm pretty much, with your attitude and your disrespect, I have nothing more to say to you.
I'm shocked. Okay, well, thank you. I got everything I needed out on the record.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, just want to clarify, I just confirmed the research on the tax collector question. The tax collector's compensation is fixed for a 4-year term. So the statutory requirement is February 15th for the municipal election. So it's fixed for the entire 4-year term. I sent to Luke the statutory provision.
Say, did I hear that right? You just did this research now?
I'm saying I confirmed it while during the meeting, just to confirm what the question was.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you.